Brie Bella, how she held on to that championship from June or July of 2011 right up until October of 2011. The phenomenal pay-per-view matches herself and Beth Phoenix had a series that wasn't as good as Booker T versus Chris Benoit for the United States Championship or Trish Stratus versus Lita that wins several matches on television and pay-per-view, but it really went a long way in demonstrating and putting into perspective for wrestling fans who really didn't have a good idea as to how skilled of a wrestler Kelly was. I mean, they put her in the ring with a Goliath of the Divas division, if anything, and she really was tested. But she was able to keep up with Beth Phoenix in a way that no other diva her size or her athletic ability capable of doing what she was able to do above and beyond. Was unbelievable just seeing what Kelly did in that series, and all those matches from that series are on YouTube, and they were so good that I was tweeting them endlessly. And the novelty of the videos being released on YouTube for fans to see. I mean, Kelly was just so incredible in that. And I know that I've been accustomed to talking about Kelly positively and negatively. It's really been shaken up with my opinion towards Kelly. And when an opinion was released of mine on The Score in Canada, I think WWE really took my opinion into consideration and took the championship off her. I just wish I hadn't said some of the comments that I said about Kelly. I know that my opinion of Kelly has been somewhat controversial since her arrival in 2006, but I'm kind of half and half with Kelly. You know, there's a lot of negativity that goes along with Kelly's release, but there's also a lot of positivity that goes along with Kelly and her release as well. I do apologize for a lot of things that I've said about Kelly through the years, but I mean, the things that I've said about Kelly can be justified, and my claims can be backed up with some proof and evidence that you can find on the internet. Through the half of her career, they weren't utilizing her to her fullest potential. It was almost as if she was there playing the role of a Stacy Keibler, professing the fact that looks did sell and get over. In professional wrestling, if anything, looks and sex get away with doing a lot of things in professional wrestling. But in the second half of her run in WWE, I mean, the athletic ability and the charisma and the perseverance, if anything, truly shone through for Kelly. And I think that in the second half of her career, if not for that, it definitely went a long way in solidifying her legacy, and it helped her establish a position in the WWE. And I know that I'm not the only radio host and columnist over the past over a decade, almost 15 years, who feels the same way about Kelly and the utilization of Kelly's character. I mean, she wasn't the most entertaining or skilled on the microphone. She wasn't the most entertaining in the way of a program with some of the divas she worked with, like the Bella Twins, but she was effective as the Divas Champion, and she did give us some of her best matches as the Divas Champion, because she knew, representing a division that had been represented by the likes of Trish Stratus and Lita for years, that she had to step up her game, she had to become improved. She really had no choice, because she was having a lot of pressure placed on her shoulders as the Divas Champion, and she got the job done for the 4 to 5 month reign she had as the Divas Champion, and I'd go for it again. It's just a shame now that divas are making choices outside of the professional wrestling business, choosing reality television over a competitive role in the WWE. I'm hoping that some divas return. I'm hoping we haven't seen the last of Kelly, Eve Torres, the Bella Twins, Karma, who came in 2011 and for a short time decimated the Divas division. It was almost as if they brought Karma in just to give divas an excuse to be released, destroying divas like Maurice and Michelle McCool at Extreme Rules in 2011. I mean, very unacceptable way of bringing Karma in, having her decimate the entire division, release information on her pregnancy. She leaves on a leave of absence. We're speculating on her return, and a few weeks before Karma returns, supposedly in a feud with Beth Phoenix or Kelly for the Divas Championship. Even the Bella Twins were a top consideration for a return rivalry for Karma, because she hoped the Bellas were still with the WWE when she returned. But we never did see it come into fruition, because WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis had no use for the utilization of Karma's character, who was a huge part of TNA as Awesome Kong. Very unfortunate release there, and the releases just kept coming, bringing us up to over a total of 7 releases. And if you were to rate the 7 releases on a scale of 1 to 10, Kelly and the Bella Twins will probably find themselves at the top of that list. And Melina and Maurice are top divas as well, who had rivalries over the Divas Championship, which were incredible. Melina was both an incredible Divas and Women's Champion. Michelle McCool likewise. Layla's another one who was a great WWE Divas Champion. She's still there. That is a positive. I'm hoping that the new talent initiative Divas can get something going for them in the way of a positive direction. I know that WWE are doing everything they can for talents like AJ, but with AJ now as a heel character and her not competing as much as she used to in the Divas division, it keeps the WWE Divas division in a very precarious position. If AJ was feuding for the Divas Championship as opposed to being a valet or a manager to Dolph Ziggler, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase benefiting him, who really doesn't need AJ, what you would be doing with AJ's character would be making a whole lot more sense. And in the first half of her face run, when you had divas like Eve and Kelly speculating on their wanting to be released from WWE, requesting their releases, getting ready to compete in their final matches, that was great how you were trying to promote AJ as your top diva. But when you took her out of the ring, you took her out of roles like the Raw general manager, had her turn heel, and aligned herself with Dolph Ziggler, which was something I saw coming, didn't want to see it come, but it did. Very, very disappointed in what you're doing with AJ's character now, and I'll continue to be disappointed until I see her wrestling where she needs to be in the Divas division, even though the Divas division needs AJ more than AJ needs the Divas division. That is a philosophy that the WWE creative team has believed for months. They believe that the WWE Divas division needs AJ as more than AJ needs the Divas division, so they're keeping AJ out of the Divas division and leaving it up to Tamina, Rosa Mendes, and Natalya to promote the Divas division as competitors for the Divas Championship, which is currently being held by Kaitlyn. If you didn't see where Kaitlyn won the Divas Championship in Houston in her hometown in that match with Eve, you can see the match on our Twitter at Jonathan Clark 1. And the question that I have for our listening audience is, who do you think would win in a rivalry over the Divas Championship between Kaitlyn and Beth Phoenix? Do you think it would be as an effective feud as Kelly and Beth Phoenix from 2011 and that incredible pay-per-view series that we saw that lasted from at least SummerSlam of 2011 right up until Hell in a Cell of 2011 that involved Natalya when they were being referenced as the Divas of Doom? I don't know if it would be as effective as Kelly versus Beth Phoenix. I know Kaitlyn has a bit of power, and I know you can have power against power, but she also has a lot of qualities too that are missing that wouldn't really match up her well with Beth Phoenix. She doesn't really have as much speed as Kelly. She doesn't have the athletic moveset that Kelly had with the gymnastic ability coming into fruition in that rivalry with Beth Phoenix, and with how much emphasis was placed on Kelly being a former gymnast and being very capable of doing athletic abilities like moonsaults and handspring elbows and stuff like that. With that being out of the arsenal of Kaitlyn, and Kaitlyn only having her power really to rely on, power against power would be the only thing that you would have to look forward to. So I'm not really sure promoting Kaitlyn defending the Divas Championship as the defending champion against a challenger like Beth Phoenix would be as effective as Kelly versus Beth Phoenix from 2011. And another question that I have for our listening audience is, if Kelly were to return, who do you think would benefit in a feud between Kaitlyn and Kelly for the Divas Championship? Who do you think would come out on top? You can tell me on social media by using it as a forum on Facebook.com/HEW Entertainment, by following us on Twitter, where you'll find a lot of Kaitlyn and Kelly videos at Jonathan Clark 1, and you can also send me a message on YouTube and check out my video archives of my radio show, including this one as a perspective look at Kelly needing to return to WWE at Jonathan Clark 22 on YouTube. A lot of great YouTube video archives can be found on our YouTube channel at Jonathan Clark 22. Very excited to find out what direction the Divas division will heading into WrestleMania 29. The negative side of all this is it doesn't seem to be a very positive direction. That's why I think on a scale of 5 stars, at least 4 out of 5 stars puts the WWE Divas division in a desperate need for divas like Kelly and Eve to return, but we are a long way away from seeing that. I would have loved to have seen a rivalry also between Kelly and Eve for the Divas Championship, with Eve being the heel Divas Champion and Kelly being the returning challenger, which is a feud that I never did see come into fruition that I actually wanted and commented on for television for the Score. You can also see that on the Score's website for Aftermath Archives, where I actually elaborated on a feud between a heel Divas Champion in the way of an Eve against a face challenger in the way of a Kelly. We never saw that come into fruition. So many things have yet to come into fruition for the WWE Divas division. If you want my opinion where you can see Divas Wrestling can be seen on the all-new NXT on Wednesdays on WWE.com. Also in Canada, they have several airings of NXT through the week. They have the original NXT show airing on Wednesdays, I do believe, and a repeat of that same show the following Friday of the same week. They had a great Divas Battle Royal, which really puts in perspective how great the Divas division has gotten on NXT and why some of these NXT Divas should have call-ups to Raw or SmackDown. I mean, I especially love divas like Audrey Marie and Paige, who you can do so much with. It's just WWE have no need to bring them to Raw or SmackDown just yet. They're still emphasizing on their characters being a crucial part of the all-new NXT on Wednesdays on WWE.com, but with us up to over 7 Divas releases, I think it's time for Audrey Marie and Paige to be receiving their WWE call-ups, and they need to do it before it's too late to really start promoting these divas in an effective way. You can get so much out of Audrey Marie and Paige, especially, who were great contributions to NXT after all these months, and the Divas Battle Royal was just absolutely phenomenal. Also, something that I have to really put over is the fact that the Divas division aren't being showcased enough on television. I mean, a match between Natalya and Rosa Mendes on a recent edition of Friday Night SmackDown really didn't do the Divas division any justice at all. It was very, very short. The involvement of Foreign Swagger, the Great Khali, Epico, and Primo, representing the respective divas that have been valets to them for a number of months, very lackluster. It took away from the match that was in the ring between Rosa Mendes and Natalya. That could have been a technically profound match, but it wasn't. I mean, that's not the way you want to see the Divas division promoted. The way you want to see the Divas division promoted is by having incredible Divas matches on the all-new NXT, eventually transitioning those matches